So Alabama is looking at a pretty radical fix for its troubled prison system. And that fix is artificial intelligence. In this explainer, we're going to break down this really ambitious plan to see if technology can actually drive humane reform. Let's dive in.
Okay, so right out of the gate, the proposal doesn't mince words. It calls the state's prisons its greatest moral and humanitarian challenge. This tells you right away that this isn't just about policy. For the people behind it, no, this is about tackling a problem they see as deeply, deeply urgent.
All right, so before we can even talk about the solution, we've got to understand the problem, right? What exactly are the core issues that are just plaguing Alabama's correctional facilities? I mean, what pushed them to come up with such a bold proposal in the first place?
Well, it turns out the proposal gives a nod to a recent documentary called The Alabama Solution for really bringing this whole crisis into the public eye. By taking cameras inside these facilities, it showed everyone the harsh realities, you know? It basically forced a conversation that made this kind of bold reform even possible. So the proposal zeroes in on 4 massive challenges. First up, you've got severe overcrowding. And that, of course, leads directly to the second problem, just pervasive violence. Then on top of all that, you have this huge issue of untreated mental illness. And finally, there's the financial burden on families. We're talking about basic communication, just staying in touch, costing a fortune. These are the 4 core problems that this whole AI initiative is really designed to tackle head-on.
Okay, so with those huge challenges laid out, how in the world does this new proposal plan to fix them? Well, this brings us to the core of the whole thing, an AI-driven solution. The official name, for the record, is the AI for Humane Prison Reform Initiative. But the key thing to grab onto here is the focus on ethical innovation. The goal isn't just, to throw some tech at the problem. It's to use it to build a system that's actually more just, more focused on rehabilitation, and way more transparent. Now, a really critical piece of this whole proposal is that it insists on using open-source AI. So what on earth does that mean? Basically, it means the software's code is public. Anyone, and I mean anyone, can look under the hood, check it for bias, and even suggest improvements. This is the complete opposite of some secret black box algorithm, It's a very deliberate choice they're making to try and build trust through transparency.
So this initiative isn't just one single idea. It's actually a whole framework built on 4 distinct pillars. And together, they're meant to form a really complete strategy for change. Okay, this slide is really the heart of the plan, so let's walk through these 4 pillars. First, you've got education for all. The idea here is to use AI tutors to give inmates access to real college and vocational courses. Pretty cool. Second is communication equity, and this is a simple but huge change. It means getting rid of those super expensive proprietary phone systems and replacing them with open-source options to stop bankrupting families. The third pillar is AI-enabled safety. Now, this is interesting. It's about using AI to proactively spot signs of violence or mental health crises, hopefully before they actually happen. And finally, there's staff and transparency. This part uses AI analytics to help support correctional officers, and, this is key, it creates public dashboards so anyone can track how the system is doing.
Now, a plan this big is obviously designed to have a major ripple effect. So the big question is, who really stands to benefit from all this?
Well, the proposal really argues for a win-win scenario, where the benefits just ripple outward to basically everyone involved. It starts with the inmates, of course, who would get education and safer conditions. Then it extends to their families, who get more affordable communication. It also helps the staff by creating a safer work environment. And it even benefits victims and communities by focusing on rehabilitation, which in the long run helps the entire state of Alabama.
So what's the bottom line for the state? I mean, what's in it for them? The proposal argues it's a super clear path to some really valuable outcomes. Think about it. Better rehabilitation leads to lower reoffense rates. Better conditions inside lead to fewer expensive lawsuits. And both of those things lead directly to significant savings for taxpayers. It's a pretty compelling financial argument.
And look, this isn't just some think tank paper full of lofty ideas. The proposal actually ends with a direct and very clear call to action for the Alabama legislature. It outlines exactly what the first step should be to get this thing off the ground.
It lays out a really practical 4-step plan to get started. Step 1, authorize a pilot program. Test this in a single facility first to see what works and what doesn't. Step 2, create an AI for Justice task force. This is absolutely crucial for ethical oversight. Step 3, fund the expansion of education, putting real money behind programs that are already up and running. And Step 4, commit to total transparency with quarterly public reports. It's a concrete, actionable roadmap.
And the proposal wraps up on a really powerful note of hope.
It invokes Alabama's history of overcoming some really profound challenges. It frames this whole initiative not just as a technical fix, but as an opportunity for redemption and renewal, a real chance to define a new, more humane future for its entire justice system.
And that really leaves us with the core question at the heart of this entire thing. Can technology, when it's guided by transparency and ethical principles, actually help build a more humane and effective justice system? Alabama's proposal is a bold, ambitious attempt to prove that the answer to that question is a resounding yes.